Season 2 is just dropped in Hockey Ultimate Team, and in this video, I'm going to give you a complete card value guide and what you should be doing with every overall of card that you get in HUT, and how to use it the most effective way possible to build your team. Let's get into it. Now, whether you are just starting out or you have been playing since launch of NHL 26, there is a ton of change that has taken place in Season 2, most notably just with line combinations. After the big reset, everything has changed in terms of your team build, and really what we're left with right now at launch of Season 2 is just use the best team that you can make under the salary cap. However, the other big change is that they have added in new values for icons, heroes, new 88 overall captain cards, and rookies, and they all have increasingly more expensive card values required to make these items. And then what you're left with is, what do you do with all of the cards that you actually acquire? Do you sell them? Do you trade them in for certain things? That is going to be the point of this video. So let's begin all the way down at the bottom and work our way up. Something that I need to mention. All of these values are going to be for untradeable cards. If you want to get the maximum value out of everything that you get in this game, a lot of these sets using tradable cards is not going to be the most effective. You're going to get more value by selling those cards on the auction house when those specific prices are higher, instead of using them in sets to create content that you could get by just waiting a little bit longer and using untradeable cards. However, for 95% of the player base, you don't play enough, you don't want to have to worry about working the market, and it's completely okay to lose a couple thousand coins in value to just ignore all of the other nonsense when it comes to the market and just know where to put the cards if you want to go that route. But I just want to make it very clear, I'm going to explain what to do with untradeable and tradable on every overall of card, but I need to make it very clear that you will lose a little bit of value if you just blanket throw tradable cards into every set. All right, so I spent hours going through, got the notebook out. We are going to go through exactly the best ways to start. We're going to go all the way over to the exchange sets, and this is a pretty blanket one. For any card that is 78 and below, they go into these exchange sets. So if you have any 74 to 75 overall items, you throw them in here, and then so on and so forth. When you get to this set here, you're going to see that it requires 4 78 or 79 overall items. Only put 78 overall items in here. Do not put 79s into this set. You're going to lose a ton of value. So whether it's tradable or untradeable, 78 and below go into these exchange sets. There's also timestamps down below if you want to come back to this video and reference it. It is going to be pretty confusing. There's no way to make it any simpler. They've made it pretty convoluted, but I want to dumb this down as much as possible. 79 overall items, they go into the captain sets. So what you want to do is, with your 79 overall items, scroll all the way to the right, and you're going to see the last set, which is Season 1 Captains. In the Season 1 Captain sets, you are going to find these 4. Connor Bedard, Leo Carlsson, Moritz Seider, and Luke Hughes. You can do these as many times as you want, and they require 5 79 overall items. Whether you get a 79 untradeable or tradable, they go into these sets because 82s are worth more. So even if they aren't captains, forget about that. They're just 82 overall items. It's worth more to do that. So 79 overall items, whether they're untradeable or tradable, they go into these 4 sets. And again, you can do them as many times as you want. You could do nothing but Connor Bedard sets, doesn't matter. So they go in here. All right, on to the 80 overalls, and this is where you have your first choice of what you want to do. But because we're so late in the month, this is for the beginning of Season 2, you can throw your 80 overalls into the Team of the Week sets. In this first set here, it requires 3 80 overalls and a 79. Again, I think that 79 should just go into that captain set, but if you had a ton of 84 overall Team of the Week items saved up and you wanted a shot at making a Star of the Month item, I would put your 80 overalls in here, whether they're tradable or untradeable. And then what you would do with the 82 overall Team of the Week items that you make is you would throw them into these sets to make 84s. Again, I would only recommend this if you already have a ton saved up and you're looking to get the most amount of 84 overalls that would use for the Star of the Month trade-in. If you don't have any and you haven't been saving them, I would ignore this entirely until a new month kicks over. However, for everyone else, we're going back to the exchange sets. You go into the player exchanges, and then all the way down at the end, you can trade in 4 80 overall items, and you will get a shot at an 82 or 83 overall player pack. Assume you're going to get an 82 overall, but these can also be alumni. We're going to touch on alumni a little bit later on. Far more value if you get them. But this does give you a shot at getting an 83, which would be tremendous value. But this is what you should be doing with your tradable or untradeable 80 overalls if you have no interest in Star of the Month. Next up, we've got 81 overall items. The market right now is an absolute disaster. So for the first week or two of Season 2, I would not sell anything because the market has really crashed because of packs being pulled and packs being purchased in the store that will dry up and prices will rise. However, at 81 overall, untradeable, you've got two options. In my opinion, the best one is the event trade-in. So in the combo Nexus trade-in sets, this first one right here, you can trade in 3 81 overall items, and you will get an 83 overall combo Nexus player item. More on what to do with those in a little bit, but this is where I would put your 81 overall untradeable items. This is one of the first ones where if you wanted to sell to make coins as opposed to making these sets, it's not a terribly bad value. So you could sell it if you wanted to maximize. But again, I wouldn't feel bad if you're going to just use them to get more cards as opposed to trying to just accumulate coins if you're just a casual player. The other option with your 81 overalls is going to be the rookie sets. Now, again, the value on these sets is really bad right now because of the current packs. I'm talking about the launch of Season 2. But 81s are required to make the 84 overall rookie cards. And the 84 overall rookie card specifically, they are needed to make Cale Makar, Carey Price, and Steven Stamkos. If you do not have Cale Makar's rookie card, I would 100% recommend working towards making this item because his card is just so impactful, especially at the launch of Season 2. It requires 2 84 overall rookies, so you can use your 81s in those sets to knock out these 84 overalls that are required. But again, the value is really bad right now, but eventually that will fluctuate and level off. All right, now we're on to 82 overall items. We're going back to the captain sets. Now, what you'd want to do is, again, scroll all the way over to the Season 1 captains. And this time, you are going to skip over the Bedard, Carlson, Sider, and Hughes sets, and you're going to go to the Ovechkin, Brady Tkachuk, Doughty, and Heiskanen sets. You're going to put your 82 overall untradeable items into this set to make an 85 overall captain. Again, these are repeatable. You can do them as many times as you want, but your 82 untradeable items, they go in here. Again, if you have 82 tradables and you want to maximize value, you'd want to sell those cards. I wouldn't do it right now. Wait for the auction house to dry up a little bit from the start of Season 2. But as it stands right now, if you were just looking to build cards and improve your team, you put your 82s into these sets. Again, your untradeable 82s can also go in these rookie sets. It is all going to depend if you are chasing after Cale Makar's rookie card first, or the Captain Connor McDavid, which is where I would head first. Speaking of Connor McDavid's captain card, this is where you put your 83 overall untradeable items. This includes the event items that you would have made by trading in any of the 81 overalls from earlier in the video. Unless you are trying to make multiple master set items from an event, you can simply just do all of the objectives and get a free one. But if you wanted to make multiple, you could then use your 83 overalls in those sets. But I would try and hammer out the captains first. And again, I'll explain why in just a little bit. So if you have traded in enough 82s to get Miro Heiskanen's 85 captain card, you have that. And then you would take 3 83 overalls and throw them into this set to get Connor McDavid's captain card. You're going to need this card in the future as well for another trade-in. When it comes to the tradable 83 overalls, same thing applies. You could sell them on the auction house for a lot of coins, or if you wanted to just throw them in here, again, you're going to lose a bunch of value, but you are acquiring the cards to actually play with. That's going to be something that you have to determine. All right, 84 overalls. At the current time of this recording, there is nothing that specifically requires 84 overall items. It's like they're long forgotten and just banished from being used. If you have untradeable or tradable 84 overalls, I'm just holding. Eventually, they are going to be necessary for something. They just aren't currently, but it is a firm hold on any 84 overall that is tradable or untradeable currently. Again, watch my Market Monday videos. I'll explain when the 84s become relevant again, but at the current state, 84 is just not used. So don't sell them on the auction house or trade them in elsewhere. Just not going to be anywhere near the value. All right, lastly, 85 overalls. The 85 overall items are going to be necessary for acquiring one of the new 88 overall captain cards. So that is Tomas Hertl, Cam Fowler, Alex Tuck, or John Carlson. And this is, in my opinion, what you should be working towards slowly first, because there is a big advantage to getting an 88 overall captain. And that advantage is that all of the other captain cards below 88 overall, they only give a +5 ability point limit boost. The 88s give a +10 and are activated in the same ways. So if you got Tomasz Hertl, you need 6 Western Conference players, and you will get a +10 ability point boost. So something that I would slowly but surely work towards continually building, because it will be a substantial bonus to your team. So if you wanted to make Tomasz Hertl, it will require 2 86 overall captains. Now, you're going to have to make a decision if your team is good enough, if you want to trade in Connor McDavid, or if you want to make additional captains to keep Connor McDavid. Again, that's up to you, but it will require 2 86 overall captains, as well as 3 85 overall player items. So this is where you would put your untradeable 85 overall players into these sets to help you acquire the 88 overall captain cards. Now, I do want to mention, the PWHL captain player items are actually some of the best cards in the game, to be honest with you, and they have the same price point. I do want to mention, their boost works differently than the NHL captains, obviously. It currently states that you need 3 PWHL player items from a specific team to activate the captain boost. However, it's activating with just 3 PWHL players. And I would expect that EA fixes that. Maybe they leave it, maybe they don't. But at that point, if they change it, you're going to need 3 players from the Montreal Victoire to activate Marie-Philippe Poulin's captain boost. Again, you be the judge if that's going to be worth it to your team, but I want to point that out. They might leave it, they might not, but the captain boost operates differently than the NHL items. Now, again, there are some other options with your 85 overalls. If you want to continue down the rookie path and make, let's say, John Tavares, it also requires 2 85 overalls. I don't think these are great value. The John Tavares and Phil Housley cards, as well as Darcy Kemper, nowhere near as game-breaking as some of the other options to chase after. But again, that's up to you and how you want to build your team. I'm just giving you the options of what to do with the cards. And then lastly, you also need 85 overalls for a MSP trade-in. So you will need 3 85 to 86 overall event items, but you'll also need 85 items for an MSP trade-in. You get enough for free, guys, via the event collectibles over 2 weeks to make it an MSP completely for free, and that includes these 2 85 overalls as well. Again, this is going to be something that you have to determine what you want to do with your team and your lineup. I'd be trying really hard to get my first 88 overall captain just for an additional 5 ability points. But let's say you're not going to do all of your objectives and you don't have the team of the week Dylan Larkin. I'm doing everything I can to get this Dylan Larkin card. So if you have to sacrifice some base 85 overall items instead of going after a captain, that set's always going to be there. This Dylan Larkin card's the best card that came out at the start of Season 2, and if you don't have his Team of the Week item, it would 100% be something that I would chase after. All right, now on what to do with your alumni cards. This is going to be pretty blanket across the board. Anytime that you get an untradeable alumni, and it won't be very often, you just throw them into whatever set that they are able to go into. So a 79 overall is going to be the barrier of entry for the alumni sets. You would throw them into this 81 overall alumni player set in the heroes sets. And then moving on down the list, if you have an 80 overall alumni player item, they would go into this set for an 82, and so on and so forth. However, if you do not have Paul Coffey, who in my opinion is the best icon, including the Wayne Gretzky and Eric Lindros release, that is the card I'd be working towards. So every single alumni that you get, you want to work towards getting 83 overall alumni items that you can throw into the Paul Coffey set to make Paul Coffey. That is what I would recommend. He has been the best card since essentially launch of the game, and nothing has really changed, even with the line combos resetting. Now, after that, guys, when it comes to tradable alumni items, I'll be honest with you, even working towards getting Wayne Gretzky with a trade-in that requires 586 overall icons, the best value is to probably just sell all of your tradable alumni pulls. Like, for example, when it comes to Wayne Gretzky, his card is just not an absolute difference maker compared to some of the other options that you can make that cost a fraction of the price. Again, 586 overall icons to get this Wayne Gretzky or this Dylan Larkin card that you can make for free from all of the objectives and collectibles the game gives you. Like, it's not even close, in my opinion. Now, that's not to say Wayne Gretzky or Ray Bourque or Patrick Waugh are bad cards. In fact, Eric Lindros remains one of the best in the game. So what I'd recommend is take a look at your team. If you don't have Eric Lindros, he's a fantastic card. But unless there's a specific one you're chasing after, I'd probably just sell your alumni items. But I would wait for about a week or two for the market to settle down. Like, for example, the prices as it stands right now, it costs about 130,000 coins to buy all of the alumni required. You could just get Sergei Fedorov tradable for essentially the same price. This is going to be something that you're going to have to monitor. The alumni cards are fantastic. And eventually, you'll be able to trade in Wayne Gretzky for better cards, but the value just isn't there right now. And for the casual player, you'd probably get more out of selling off your alumni items and getting the coins to purchase other cards that you actually want. Now, anything above 85 overall, guys, you can sell in the auction house or just hold on to. Something that we learned in Season 1 is that the values will change completely randomly and almost always extremely suddenly. We'll go from 84 overalls being worth almost nothing for a new set to come out where now they are worth 10x that price. The same thing goes for all of the other overalls, like 81s and 82s. They will probably release an event item or some sort of special release that requires those specific overalls. It's always safer to just hold on to your tradable items until there is some crazy event that requires those specific cards, but there's no ability to plan for that. They're operating with complete shock to the player base. That is all by plan as well. However, guys, I hope that this helps you figure out and understand what to do with all of the cards that you acquire throughout the beginning of Season 2. Be sure to subscribe so that you stay up to date. I'll let you know anytime that there is a crazy value change, but I just wanted to get a video out there to help players understand what to do with their cards at the start of Season 2. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.